A long time ago, on a comics page far, far away. Greetings and welcome to May the Panel Be With You, the Star Wars comic book show brought to you by the Punch-Up Entertainment Network. I'm your humble host, Mike Gargoni, and joining me, as always, the Ja'an to my Maruk, it is John Campbell.
You finally actually are just pronouncing my name correctly, which is Ja'an, has always been.
Sorry.
Oh, man. This comic's loopy.
No, John, Zeltrons.
Right, you got it. Zeltrons. No, Zeltrons.
No, Zeltrons.
Yeah, boy, oh boy. I mean, I will say, this issue really solidifies like what this comics thing is in a lot of ways, right? Like it is. This comic has ever been edging away from connection to the trilogy and like building its own mythology, and this one really dives into things born of this comic.
Well, and here's the thing. I think that is indicative of a lot of the Star Wars we're going to be talking about from here on out. This is a platform upon which a lot of stuff is built.
Well, because there really is no like main nucleus of the franchise at this point, right? Like that's sort of the thing about it is the trilogy is over. The future of Star Wars is at this point George going, I don't know, maybe someday, maybe, you know.
And
so
Pablo Hidalgo going, no, someday is now.
Yeah. So it is sort of the if he's not going to push that boulder up the hill, by God, we will. And he's not going to stop them, but he's also not going to do. I mean, like Lucas's involvement in Star Wars at this point is fascinating to me.
He's making money off of toys, like
yeah, and I feel but I'm just saying, like in terms of these books and stuff, I don't know how much he had. I mean, obviously he didn't have actual story input, but was there stuff where he was like, no, don't do that, because it feels like no. Having the things I've read, both in comics and novels, I feel like he could have put his foot down on a bunch of stuff and was just like,
I'll ask you this. Do we know how much involvement he had in the Ewoks TV movies?
I think very little.
Because let us not forget, 1985 is the year of the Ewok. We covered this last episode, so go back and
if you want to recap on the year of the Ewok.
We are, indeed.
Yeah. And he just, I mean, he hired the guy who made those, but then was kind of like,
Yeah. I think he was perfectly content to pass off Star Wars as like something he was at least nominally done with. He was veering over into Indiana Jones at this point. And he was content to make all the money off of the kids' toys and properties that they were spinning this off into.
Yeah. I mean, Lucas nominally gets a story by credit on Caravan of Courage, but it's just like, once there were some Ewoks, you guys take it from there.
But when I say this particular issue is a platform for a lot of things, we'll get into exactly what I mean by that, because we are covering issue number 95 of the Marvel Star Wars comic. We've got a scant few, less than a year's in real-time comic book left to this particular run. But right here at the end, we're getting in under the gate with some things that will remain with us for decades.
Isn't that wild? I mean, that we've covered this a bit on the show because we're always like, hey, did that turn into a thing? And I will say, Star Wars as a franchise is very sticky. Things that come in kind of don't really go away. Even to this day, we've talked about like, well, technically that thing is still kind of in canon, at least in the background, or that planet's still like on an atlas, is in an atlas book, or is mentioned by name in a Clone Wars episode or something.
This is bigger than that, John.
Yeah. Well, this is expanded universe stuff.
This is expanded universe stuff. Like I said, we're talking about issue number 95. It was released in May of 1985, year of the Ewok. It was written by Joe Duffy. We got pencils back by Cynthia Martin, inks with Steve Lealoa, colors by Glennis Ween, eventually Oliver, and letters by Rick Parker. We got Ann Nesenti as our editor and a certain Jim Shooter as our in-chief.
Mm-hmm. It's good, says Jim Shooter.
I don't know what Jim thought, but
I don't get the sense this was a top priority for him.
This was also at this point like maybe part of the Star Comics imprint that we read talked about last time that was producing more like spin-off material like the Ewoks and Droids tie-in comics, as well as many other tie-in comics like Camp Candy.
Everybody remembers that, right?
John Candy's short-lived 80s cartoon series.
I will say, 84, May of 84 to April of 85 is Secret Wars. So I think Jim Shooter's a little busy.
Jim Shooter's a little busy making a giant toy commercial.
Also, we should mention that the and shout out to the listeners who have brought this up in the comments on YouTube. The publication dates on the issues themselves are way different than when they actually came out in stores, because a lot of people who were around when this was coming out have commented below that this was coming out months before it was said or whatever.
Interesting.
So keep up with that. Date. Yeah, it's interesting to hear from people who are actually buying these issue by issue when these were coming out, and that those are from what I gather kind of all over the place.
Well, I'm going by what's on both a Star Wars wiki and
that's all the information we have.
Marvel Unlimited is what I got.
When it was in your comic book shop may have been different.
I see.
Yeah.
All I know is it was 65 cents when it was released, and that still blows my mind.
Well, because things are like $4.99 now. It's out of control.
I know.
All right. Well, let's talk about this cover, which is pretty cool, actually.
This cover is pretty cool because we have the return of a character we have not seen in a few issues.
Yeah. But who we last left being like, until next time, rebels.
And I clocked her name last time, but like so many other comic characters of the like 80s and 70s, I sort of wrote it off as like, oh, this name is going to get reused later for a different character. Not really realizing it was the same character. We'll get into it when we get to this first page, because I'm going to talk about the character of Lumia, and I'm going to pop off a little bit.
I'm not surprised. But I will say also, she's they kind of rethink her in some ways in this issue.
Yes, which is why I didn't recognize her.
Yeah. I will say right from page 1, I was like, wait, when were you part human? Okay.
But this cover is very reminiscent of some, like, if you've read any Star Wars novels in, like, the mid to late 90s, you saw a cover like this one.
Absolutely. This screams Star Wars to me.
Yeah.
And it's cool, but I will also say it promises a different vibe, and also is a radical shift from last issue when we had a very cartoony Ewok stepping on a stormtrooper helmet.
Yeah,
Month to month, this book is so radically different. You're like, what? Okay. I just love the inconsistency. Like, I feel like now, there's a uniformity to the covers of stuff for the most part, right? Or at least a consistent tone.
This is a Kent Williams cover, by the way. Kent Williams was a Marvel cover guy going back into the, like, around this time, honestly. But he also did a lot of the covers for Hellblazer, the, like, 90s John Constantine book.
Those covers looked a lot like this.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So that makes a lot of sense.
So, yes, we have Lumia here, a character who was presented to us previously when Leia was on that planet where people were getting enslaved, and she and Mon Mothma sort of uncovered that whole deal.
Yes.
We also have Luke here in an outfit we have never seen, nor will we ever see again.
It feels like a real hodgepodge of like every outfit he wears in the movies. It's very vest heavy.
Yeah, vest forward is Star Wars fashion to a T.
Yes. Oh yeah, Star Wars love a vest.
But this is what Lumia looked like last we saw her. I believe this was back in issue number like 88.
It does feel like a while because I was like, all right. Yeah.
Let's see. No. Yeah, 88 is when we last saw her. That was when Leia was having her adventures on what was that planet called? I don't even remember.
Luck. You would be one more likely.
Yeah, I know. Herdessa, that was it.
Oh yeah, that doesn't even sound familiar.
It was in one issue. I mean, look.
Yeah, no, that's why. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like that. I will say this comic. There's a reason I don't read ahead. I think it's because I'm like, I got to read this week to week, or this is going to go out of my head. Anyway, immediately though, when we opened the page, I was like, what?
Yes, because this is a look that is, in theory, the same character, but one that immediately triggered my brain to go, oh shit, they're the same character.
Right, because all of a sudden, somewhat similar silhouette and similar robotic parts, but a very human set of eyes. And I went, wait, what?
Okay, so, John, I know that you never went as deep as I did in terms of like
let's be honest. Few people went as deep as you did.
I don't think that's necessarily true. There were plenty of kids in the 90s that were like, if the book said Star Wars, they read the book.
Yeah, and I read a lot of them, but I didn't take it on myself to read it as lore. Like I just sort of read like, this looks like a cool Star Wars adventure. This looks like a cool Star Wars adventure.
Sure. So you're maybe not as intimately familiar in the story of Jaina and Jason Solo as I am.
I mean, broad strokes.
Broad strokes. Yeah. You know that those are the twins that are the kids in the expanded universe lore of Han and Leia, and that they go on to learn at Luke's Jedi Academy, and that eventually one of them, the son, Jason, falls to the dark side, becomes Darth Caedus.
Right. I mean, once again, loosely a little bit what like Kylo Ren is based on, right?
Vaguely, sure.
Yeah.
Now, do you know who Jason Solo's Sith Master would be in that novel series?
I'm guessing you're about to tell me this woman?
This woman, Lumia.
Yeah, I just put some context clues.
So, like,
that's insane, by the way, based on the fact that it has anything to do with this.
I know.
Yeah. Like, who and why would you pick up anything from this?
Which also gives me further context to characters we've been reading about earlier in this book. My mind is expanding in a way that it hasn't in quite some time, because, let's be honest, I've read a smattering of these issues before we started this whole experiment, but I'd never gone through and read it all from cover to cover like we are now.
Yeah.
It's a lot, and they're older comics, and some of them aren't good.
We've talked about it. You have to read these with a certain mindset when you go back to this era.
For sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But the nostalgia button has been pressed and held down very, very snugly as I am reading about Lumia, who would of course be a rival of Mara Jade and one of the Emperor's hands, and a character who I would get to know through the Legacy of the Force and many other spin-offs 20 years after the publishing of this book.
Which is wild.
So wild.
Because it's just once again, you're just like, who picked that up? Who was like, hey, there's something here?
I can tell you who picked it up. I absolutely can, because I was reading about this earlier.
There you go.
So, obviously, this character, I'm not going to say was created here, because we'll get into later in a couple issues from now, we'll get into where this character starts. And I think you'll go, oh, of course, but it might surprise you. We'll see. I'm not going to spoil anything for you, John Campbell. Some of our more readers who have been into this book and maybe knew this character was already here might already know who I'm talking about. But this was picked up by the triumvir of Aaron Alston, Troy Denning, and Karen Travis, who were part of the like story groupthink in the mid 2000s when they started planning out the Legacy of the Force novel series.
Right. Okay.
Let's see, who was it who picked this up? Michael McLean's made a short story called Lumia, Dark Star of the Empire in 2001 that sort of like brought the character back into what was becoming the expanded universe canon in the like early 2000s. And like introduced this whole concept of her becoming like one of the Emperor's hands and like being a rival of Mara Jade. Which we'll get into Mara Jade at some point, I'm sure. Not going to start explaining that here.
No, my God, that's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing.
Mara Jade is a thing, yeah. Just know that.
But her revival as a character was basically like during this era, the Lucas story group, which were a bunch of people who honestly had come up in the era in which these comics were being put into their hands as kids.
Sure. Which is interesting that, once again, we always talk about this. What era you came up with Star Wars in? We definitely came up in the era of of those expanded universe novels. But yes, those people who were older than us came up on the movies / these comics being the only really ongoing additional content. Because there really weren't, aside from Splinter of the Mind's Eye, there weren't as many, they weren't concurrent novels so much back when the movies were actively coming out.
So the main person who reintroduced this character back in, though, was a woman named Sue Rostoni, who we'll probably talk about later, but she is someone who ran, or at least was an executive of Lucas Licensing, which is its own like corporate entity, which was sort of in charge of, before like the Lucasfilm story group sort of existed, they were trying to maintain a certain amount of continuity and like things making sense in the broader like licensing of Star Wars stories.
The thing about the whole meltdown amongst fans when the expanded universe was ignored by the movies was because that had built, once again, for the most part, a fairly tight continuity to some extent. Everything is, but let's say there were people invested. Let me rephrase it. There were people invested in certain continuities that existed amongst those books.
Sure. Yes.
I think that would be a better way to say it. And so when but I feel like if Lucas had made the sequel trilogy, he would have also been forced to ignore that stuff because it's unwieldy.
Yes, and
he didn't write those books. It's unclear how much he even really signed off on those books, as we're talking about.
I think there was a lot of, like you say, like head nodding and like passive thumbs up while sandwiches in mouth.
Hey, George, I'm writing a book where this happens. That sounds cool. As he goes down the
right.
I just want to get my pizza and go.
But
he's
this
cornered in the cafeteria at Skywalker Ranch.
As we're talking, and like this is the first page of the comic we're reading today. I realize we've already like gone off on a 20-minute tangent about this. But like this character, as she looks here, is basically the look we're gonna have for her 20 years from now. When she's reintroduced into the canon.
It looks cool. It's very Fritz Lang Metropolis.
Sure. But like the whip, the big billowy like spawn cloak that she's got here, like it's all here, baby.
Yep. And she's saying, her first line here is, "We can do this the easy way, or we can do it the hard way. But that won't change a thing, because sooner or later, you are going to tell me what I want to know."
No Zeltrons.
Yeah. I like the idea of, hey, no Zeltrons. We put up a sign.
No Zeltrons.
No Zeltrons. Yeah. No, money down, if anyone knows that Simpsons joke. But the thing that really surprised us when we turned the page, and I thought this was a Marvel book, for some reason she's hanging out with Morpheus from the Sandman comics.
Yeah, well, let's strap in because we're gonna get more of these little guys.
And this guy's talking about, by the way, this guy that looks like Ben Stiller with a mustache.
I was gonna say Freddie Mercury, but yeah.
Oh yeah, either way, it's Ben Stiller playing Freddie Mercury, his audition tape for Bohemian
Mm.
Rhapsody. But he's saying, but I'm not a rebel anymore. I'm part of the Alliance of Free Planets now.
And Lumia is saying, allied you may be, but you are still rebels, rebelling against the inevitable, against us, and the will of our masters. And I begin to lose patience with you. Classic villain stuff.
Classic villain stuff, but also last we saw her, wasn't she just a security droid?
Yeah, I mean, this is going to backfill some of that, or the next few issues are going to backfill some of that with, like, there is a grander plot going on that, are we retconning into existence, or was this in Joe Duffy's head the whole time? Tough to say.
I don't know the answer. It feels like retconning, but I can't say that because I don't know. Obviously, I don't know what was in Joe Duffy's head when she was writing this, but it's, yeah, all of a sudden it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. This feels like a way bigger character than what you introduced when you first threw her in.
Admittedly, this will be pointed out by Han and Leia later in the issue, but like there were two distinct slavery stories that were sort of happening simultaneously on both Kashyyyk and the planet Leia was on, whose name I've already forgotten, even though I said it a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
And so that is like a weird coincidence that they were both dealing with that at the same time.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. I do want. Oh boy, we'll get into something that's going to get really weird here. So anyway, she's like, "Tell me what I want to know, or I'm going to torture you very badly."
Yeah. And
when we turn the page. Oh yeah. Do you want to turn the page because I have something to say on the next panel? If you want to say something on this page,
what? That it's suddenly Lando?
Yeah, that it's suddenly Lando. I was like, wait a minute, what? Is this Lando? No, it's not Lando.
Yeah, there's a coloring error here. This guy goes from being a Caucasian man on one page to a black man on the next page.
And then you also realize, oh, wait, they were just coloring Caucasian Lando to begin with. What it exposes. And then now he just is Lando. And then you're like, wait, oh, God, is this Lando? Should I be more invested in this? No.
No, it's not Lando.
Calm down, everybody. Lando's fine.
Lando's fine. Where's
and that's
Lando?
all
Is he safe?
Yeah. Just make sure Lando's okay, you guys. That's what I say in every issue.
But this guy says, hey, I don't know where to tell. I can't give you the information you want because I don't have it. I don't know where Princess Leia is. The only person I know about who was even giving her orders was Luke Skywalker. And we get a tight focus on Lumia's eyes as she just says, Skywalker.
Skywalker, which is I do like the idea of this, like, I don't know where Princess Leia is, but I know where basically the biggest deal of the rebellion is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Leia's like, well, Leia's upper brass, but I know where, like, the hero of the rebellion is. Is that anything?
But as far as we know, as the readers as of this moment, Lumia has no connection to Luke Skywalker. She has beef with Leia because Leia is the one who foiled her plans on that other planet.
Well, and of course, if you're reading this, you're also going like, well, who's we? When she says, we will do this, you're like, are you with some semblance of the Empire? Or
we're going to find out.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, this is, by the way, we haven't brought up that this is a different artist, isn't it? Cynthia Martin?
Same artist as we had last issue, and it's wild, the difference.
It is, but I will say right here is where you see some of that, which is things get... This doesn't feel as cartoony as I was talking about. We've talked about until right now when we cut back to Leia and particularly Admiral Akbar, who looks like the Disneyland character costume version of Admiral Akbar. What is with the gigantic head?
Akbar's got a big head. It's the little legs that get me.
It's almost, it feels like a first draft thing where you're like, oh no, I drew the head too big in comparison to the body, and then you're kind of like, well, can I just, and then they didn't fix it.
Or it's like a boardwalk caricature artist.
Yeah. This looks like the Admiral Akbar bobblehead they sell in the gift shop when you get off the Star Tours ride at Disneyland. But by the way, what a gimmick they got over there at Disneyland. Every ride goes right into the gift shop.
Whoa, shocking.
Smart. Yeah. That's why I always leave with a bunch of, it's like, well, I want these Star Wars toys. Anyway, and so we cut to Leia going, no, oh no, not that. Anything but that.
And Han trying to reassure her, take it easy, Leia. You act like this is the end of the universe or something.
And then, I mean, once again, not only the cartoony style, but the pose of Leia being like, oh.
Oh my God.
Yeah, does it have to be this?
And Admiral Akbar saying, I'm afraid it does. And what is Leia so worked up about? It's Zeltrons.
It's Zeltrons. I just want to point out that real quick. Han Solo calling Admiral Akbar Sir is a strange...
Well, you got to show respect to Admiral Akbar, John. Come on. Even Han Solo.
Even Han Solo. I'm just trying to think, did Han Solo ever call anyone Sir?
He never interacted with Admiral Akbar, as far as we know in the original trilogy.
Anyway,
if he had, he would have said Sir.
Here comes Zeltron's equivalent of Duran Duran.
Yes, we are introduced to here. Let's see. We've got Bob, John, Maruk, and Rahul.
Here come the hunks.
Oh, and they are so hunky. They are... I mean, we got like deep V-neck, chests exposed, barely contained abs, fishnets galore. These are some glamorous boys.
Well, that's what I'm saying. These are the boy band of Zeltron, man.
Hell yeah.
I love Raul with his. He's got a weird hat with goggles and or sunglasses. I don't.
Sure. Maruk has double chain belts. Yeah.
Pretty good. And then just the John is the I guess the punk rocker with his studded vest.
He's rocking some like Judas Priest Twisted Sister vibes here.
Yeah. These and the way they're coming is like, hey everybody, hey.
I do deeply appreciate this because for the vast majority of our relationship with Zeltrons, mostly it's been through Danny, and occasionally we've seen some like serving girls at like high-end places.
Yeah.
And so to give us insight into the fact that like, no, they're all like this is actually kind of heartening to me.
Here come the himbos, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's the whole race is like this. Yeah, it's not. I guess that's good. I still don't like them, but yes, I guess that's better than if it was just the women were like this.
I mean, you're on the same page as Leia, though, because they come bouncing out of their spaceship being like, hey, yeah, we're here to help. We love you guys. You're great. Yeah. Hooray.
Like, it just, these are
so happy to be here.
You know what? These are the guys Derek Zoolander lives with who die in a tragic gasoline fight accident.
100% yes.
That's what I'm thinking of. And the way they're driving down with their coffees. Yeah. That's exactly. To Leia's point, I will say these guys walk off the ship, and my first thought is, well, what are these guys going to do? These guys aren't going to be any help to anyone.
Leia's thought bubbles here I actually do really like.
Yeah.
I will work with Wookiees. I will work with Corellians and Hoojibs and Lashbees and Iskalonians and Mon Calamari and Ewoks, but I will not work with Zeltrons.
I mean, fair.
And they're like trying to ingratiate to her. They're being all friendly and like, hey, yeah, we love you. Great. And her just like deadpan stare. It's really good comic book comedy timing.
It is. But when they keep talking about like, don't worry, we're going to take care of everything. I just want to know, like, be more specific. What? What are you going to do? These guys aren't going to be lifting shit and like.
Yeah, but they're being sent on like a diplomatic mission where the whole point is to try to like ease tensions with these.
Yeah, but they're going to end up banging everybody.
And if that's not a way to ease some tensions, I don't know what is.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Look at them, the way they're joshing around. Oh, you scared.
Look how glad she is to see us. Yeah, these guys should be named like Dwayne and Skylar.
Absolutely. And so then, oh my God. I mean, this is another issue that indicates Joe Duffy's tendency towards the wacky.
Sure. Yeah, for sure. No, it's absolutely wacky. And I think this next page, honestly, I dig this wackiness because then the Zeltrons like latch on to Han and are like, "Hey, you're the pilot of the Millennium Falcon. I love you. You flew and blew up the Death Star. You're great."
Hey.
And Han, trying to be like a little bit modest, is like, "Well, yeah, I guess that was me."
Also, I don't understand. Is this guy on his knees in this panel?
Don't worry about it.
I also want to talk about Akbar in that top panel there, whose head has gotten even bigger.
Yeah, he's becoming a bit of a potato head, and I don't know. I don't really care for it.
Yeah, it's very strange. Wait till we tell all our friends we actually got to meet the famous general. Lando Calrissian!
Because, to be fair, everything they describe up to that point is also describing Lando, which I found pretty funny.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, Han, now also sick of the Zeltrons.
I will just say, the hard shift in tone from that beginning where I will torture you to death for information to these shenanigans is pretty wild.
Honestly, that's the whole rest of the issue, is a trepidatious back and forth between deadly serious and zany.
Yeah, I do like, now after that, though, Han's like, all right, these guys, we got to get rid of these fuckers. Yeah, and so anyway, now it's like, okay, now that we've got the gun, they're all just standing there. I just imagine they're just like, yeah, with their big, hi.
How's it going, guys? We'll be over here. You need any help? We got you.
They're also kind of like just a bunch of Kens from the Barbie movie.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, just empty-headed, hunky dudes.
No thought, head empty, only Zeltron.
Yeah. Only Zeltrons. Okay, so anyway, Admiral Akbar is explaining actually what they're doing now.
Yeah, they have to go to a party on Cabray. Cabray, if we remember, is a planet we've been to before. Luke and Leia had gone there to get some allies to join the Alliance after Return of the Jedi, and that was where Leia got turned into a lounge singer for a hot second, and had
so weird.
And had to sing one of the hooks into passivity.
Yeah, very
weird.
Remember,
like a Lashby was there, and it transformed because there was some kind of weird plot involving a former Imperial general that was also there.
Yeah, I just like the idea about your assignment is to go to a party and have a good time.
Well, because the representatives that are going to be there think that we're a little too militaristic to actually run a government, and you're going there to try to ease them of that notion. And that's why the Zeltrons are going, because nothing screams we're not a serious military than 4 hunky Zeltrons.
Don't worry. We got a bunch of empty-headed party boys here, too.
Yeah,
oh, good.
That'll sell it.
Oh, that really puts my fears at ease. Okay.
Look, if all of these representatives are like, hey, this alliance is maybe a little too serious, and then the Zeltrons show up, they're like, maybe these alliance guys ain't so bad.
Oh, never mind. They have a bunch of morons with them, too. Good. That's what I'm looking for. Jesus. So weird. It's just so weird. This comic is very strange.
Speaking of morons, we ask 3PO if he's packed everyone's bags, and he assures everyone that, yes, I have organized all of the gear needed for 3 separate missions, including this diplomatic mission, there's a survival exploration mission that's about to happen, and there's some military expeditions. And I've organized all of their gear. So surely nothing will go wrong with that, says C-3PO.
But I assure you, no other droids could have done better with so many teams departing at one time. And then here comes Luke and Danny.
And Kiro.
And they're off to find a burnt-out transceiver.
On Kinoween, which is a different planet. There's some kind of outpost that has gone silent, and they're going to go check it out.
Anyway, we're going to go look into that. You guys enjoy your party.
Yeah. Hey. So we're splitting the party. We've got Danny, Kiro, and Luke off to Kinoween, and we've got Han, Leia, and the Zeltrons off to Cabray.
And the Zeltrons! who are angling for their own spin-off comic.
Oh, thank
Meet
God
the
that never happened.
Yeah. These are the guys who are in Tiger Beat.
So
Anyway.
Also Danny, it should be noted, is now drawn to look more like she did issues ago. She's lost her dreadlocks she had last issue.
Yeah. And all of us, well, now she's very 80s, like, it's almost like a Gem and the Holograms character.
Ooh, yeah.
I would dare say she's truly, truly, truly outrageous.
Truly?
Truly. Anyway, so off we go to Kinoween.
Yep, where we land on Kinoween. We've got Luke and Danny and Kiro talking about how, like, oh, this is such a desolate planet. It's near the edge of the galactic rim. It's so far out of the way. What are we even doing here? And Luke says, well, there was a scouting mission sent out here because this was a desolate planet, but then we started detecting life signs. Weird. Yeah. So we sent some scouts out here, and then they vanished.
I do like the line of, this planet's so desolate, what do we care? What are we even doing out here? Why would we send anyone out here in the first place? And it's like, well, we did get some, whatever, signals.
Yeah, there were some life signs here that emerged and then suddenly disappeared, which is why we sent the scouts. Then the scouts disappeared, so now we're sending Luke and friends.
And then Kiro and Danny wander off, and Luke's like, don't do anything stupid to start a plot.
We get a line here that's made me raise an eyebrow because I don't think it's really been alluded to before this. I mean, other than just, this is what Danny is always like with everyone. She says, Kiro and I have had hardly any time together, and we'd really like to be alone.
Yeah, what is that implying?
I mean, it implies that Danny and Kiro are getting down.
Yeah, when did that start?
Danny's doing the fish nasty.
I know, but when did that start?
Right now.
Yeah, I know.
I mean,
but she says it in a way of like, and I'm like, I don't.
I mean, again, there were lines in previous issues when Danny was first interacting with Kiro. It's like, oh, this sweet hunk of saltwater taffy. And
but she's like that with everybody.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. But all of a sudden they're like a couple. I mean, Danny's thing has always been her undying obsession with Luke Skywalker, and suddenly she wants to leave Luke to get it on with Kiro.
Well, look, if she can't have one blonde broody hunk, she's going to have a different blonde broody hunk.
This is true. Anyway, he's like, well, don't do anything other than sex.
Don't be heroic or dumb or selfish is his line here.
Yeah. And then she says, trust us, darling. This is purely a sexual thing. Anyway, let's go to this episode of I Love Lucy playing out on just the poses immediately on the Leia, like, Ricky.
Yeah, Leia's got hands on hips. She's complaining about having to work with Zeltrons.
Mm-hmm. I can't believe it. Can you believe it, Han? I can't believe it. It's basically the text of this.
Han sitting back being like, look, we got to deal with the cards that were dealt.
And where are we?
We're on Cabray. We're on that planet where they're going to have the party.
But I just love their nicely furnished, very 70s apartment thing that they're in here.
Yeah. But they're kind of complaining because, guess what? 3PO messed up packing the bags, and so all their party clothes aren't here. Oh, no. Yeah.
Don't worry, though. The Zeltrons can make a party out of anything.
Hell yeah. They found a weird gooey dress at the bottom of the luggage, so they're going to turn that into something that's fit for a party.
Oh, baby. We always bring the party where we're going.
And Leia just hand on face, being like, I need to rest.
And Han is like, I'm out of here. Once again, it's so sitcom-y. It's just, it's very weird to see these characters we know from space opera suddenly be like, look, I'm out of here, Leia. And you expect the audience to applaud and they're to go to commercial now.
I kind of like the domestic nonsense between Han and Leia, because that scenes we've never received in the movies. We skip from their burgeoning romance to they had a troubled separation in the films.
Yeah, which I think we've all talked about was an interesting choice.
Sure, that's a way to put it.
But I'll leave it at that. But I do think maybe there's a middle ground of like a more grounded domestic situation than full-on sitcom antics.
Yeah, well, we got sitcom antics, so that's what we're getting, John.
Well, no, I've come to accept that's how Joe Duffy writes this comic.
Mm-hmm.
And then
And the
anyway,
Zeltrons are here to help.
Oh, I mean, we're here to make the book, 25% wackier.
And now
Anyway.
we're going to split the wackiness and the seriousness in page to page, because for the next few pages, we're going to be cutting back and forth between Danny and Kiro and Han and Leia. Because on this next page, we have Danny and Kiro scouting around on Kinoween, and then Danny turns and says, "Did you hear something?" And then we cut back to Leia, who's waking up from her nap, having her hair having been styled while she was asleep.
Now they've become the Queer Eye guys. And so, yeah, and I like that Han has just put on his outfit from Empire. That's his party getup.
Well, he wore that to a dinner party with Darth Vader. I think that's good enough for anybody.
Oh, when he met the father, it did not go well, kids.
No.
Yeah,
but
also,
we do get a bit of a creepy line here from one of the Zeltrons when Leia's waking up saying, "I rubbed your neck and massaged your scalp and shoulders while I was doing your hair while you were asleep."
Yeah, man. Hey, come on. I don't like that at all.
And wait till you see what we've done to that old dress of yours.
Yeah, and so my dress.
Because, yeah, we cut to the Zeltrons having... it looks like they've cut this dress in half and they're modeling it on a droid.
I have no idea what they're even trying to do at this point.
I mean, we do know what they're trying to do because we see Leia wearing this thing later, and honestly, looks pretty good.
Well, the state it's in now, though, is insane.
Yeah. Because it looks like they've cut half the dress, like, down the middle off. And we knew that there was like stains and some like, because it's implied that this is the same dress she wore last time she was here that was just like at the bottom of her luggage, which we know got Lashby and Hook juice all over it.
Right. Oh God, Hook juice. It's impossible to get it out.
But the Zeltrons are helping.
And they're doing it like they're sewing with, and they're always drawn with these big old grins and look at them go. And
wait until your highness walks into the party wearing this. Those ambassadors will really know that what our alliance stands for. Fashion, that's what.
These guys are going to start another war somehow. I just know it. They're going to be responsible for a misunderstanding that leads to a whole new conflict. Jesus.
Leia now with like the biggest 80s like April O'Neil hair is leaning up against the wall just going, "My dress, what did they do to my dress?"
Jesus Christ. Yeah. Why did we? And so anyway, let's turn the page though, because now we're back to danger.
Because Danny and Kiro are being attacked by something unknown. Now, the art on the page makes it pretty unclear as to what's actually happening. It will become more clear later when we actually get context for what this weird, like, ribbon is that is moving through the page here and seems to be serrating Danny and Kiro.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. And anyway, back to Leia now wearing this chaotic dress.
Leia is now a space princess in full. She is a character from Flash Gordon. She has gigantic hair, a sparkly dress that like covers her front, but then her like right arm and right leg and right hip are all exposed because of the tatters of the dress, but it's all held into place by these like strands covered in sequins. It is actually kind of a really cool look.
Yeah, I guess that's Zeltron fashion.
Sure. And standing next to Han Solo, it looks ridiculous.
Yeah, because he's just in a jacket and normal pants. No one's going to look like our princess, says one of these Zeltron guys. I didn't bother to learn which one is which.
It's one of them.
The one with goggles on his head.
Yeah.
Whichever one that one. So anyway, they walk into the party, and of course, everyone has to be like,
I mean, yeah, for sure. Everyone is a little
No one is dressed remotely like this.
no. Everyone's dressed like a Star Wars character, and
Yeah,
Leia's dressed like some kind of fashion runway model.
yeah, yeah. Honestly, the way people are all standing around staring, you'd think they'd never seen Zeltrons before.
But then, what's this? Some sort of dark elf from beneath the Underdark?
Yeah, this is a wild-looking character, and Han is quick with a blaster.
Cause yeah,
A weird-looking blaster. It looks kind of like his blaster, but not. It's strange. It's a zap gun.
The governor here says, "Hey, welcome back to Cabray," and this strange, pale, tall character with black hair says, "And I may say that it's a pleasure to welcome you to our distinguished band of prisoners."
Hey now, whoever you are, don't you think you're being a little overconfident throwing around a word like prisoners to a man who has a blaster on you? Don't worry, Leia, I got this.
But then,
He doesn't say that, but that's the tone, yeah. Then there's a blaster to the back of his head.
And who's got that blaster to the back of his head? Why, it's another familiar, pale, bowl-cutted individual by the name of Knife.
They called me Knife.
But then
I wondered where you'd slithered off to.
It turns out they're all sort of knives. We'll get into this in later issues, but so Knife is less of a name and more of a, these characters are knives, and that is their title. So each individual one is a knife.
Yeah, I don't like that. Because it's just, come up with something then. I was cool with, they can't say my name, so they call me Knife. But now they're all collectively knives?
They are the knives of an organization, yes.
Yeah. Yes. They're the soldiers or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Anyway.
So they're all pale. They've all got, absolutely paper white skin. You said they look like Orpheus or Morpheus. No, Orpheus.
Yeah.
And
no, it's Morpheus. Isn't it Morpheus?
I confuse my Phaeuses all the time.
I'm pretty sure it's Morpheus in Sandman.
No, you're right, because Orpheus is the guy who is the bard who goes down into Hades.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yes. Or Dream if you're nasty.
If you're nasty. Yeah. But all these guys sort of look like that. They've got black hair, white skin, and purple robes, and they're all holding guns on everybody here.
And I love that his whole thing here is after you ran me off Kashyyyk. I don't think he says Kashyyyk, but
he does say Kashyyyk.
He does say Kashyyyk. They were just calling it the Wookiee planet in the previous issue. So this time they're now calling it by its name.
Right, and they're spelling it right. So the spelling has changed since the last time we were there.
I know. It's wild. But he's like, ever since you ran me off of Kashyyyk, I just hooked up with all the other guys in my organization, all my other family members and friends and relatives, he says. And we decide if we all pool our resources, we can rule the galaxy, I guess, ish.
Or at least capture the gathering here on Cabray. They don't have this group's full plan yet. Though I will note that we did see one of their number working with Lumia at the start of the issue. Let's not forget that.
No, that's important, I guess. This is very ill-defined.
Right, because this is the beginning of a story arc.
Okay.
We are so used to in this book having everything wrapped up in a single issue that this issue that is a little bit more modern at storytelling techniques in terms of being built for a longer, maybe 6 issue story arc.
Right, the idea of presenting something and me going, "What is this?" and they're like, "Good." Yeah. That's not a normal thing in this comic.
No. And it's not a normal thing in this era of comics. It was beginning to change in 1985, for sure.
Yeah, big time. Because guys like Frank Miller and stuff and Claremont.
So it's funny to hear you, John Campbell, who is a proponent of modern storytelling.
I know,
why isn't this book giving me all the answers right now?
Right, because normally I'd be like, "Ooh, yeah, interesting." Instead, it's just but yeah, you're right. I'm not used to this book doing that because this is the kind of storytelling I want, except for I don't love the design of these guys. But anyway, this Frankenstein-looking guy.
But we cut back to Luke being like, Danny and Kiro better get back soon. I hope we can find that scouting party too. And he's cycling through the images of the scouting party. The last one he sees is the face of the guy we saw at the start of the issue who was about to get tortured.
Mm-hmm. Freddie Mercury.
Freddie Mercury.
Yeah. Why isn't anyone? And also, he's just like, you know what? It's a little humid on this planet. I better just wear a vest.
I think it's a jumpsuit with no sleeves.
Ooh, I think you might be right.
Because the pants are the same color as the vest.
An even weirder look. And then, of course, like knee-high boots because space.
Oh, you got to wear knee-high boots in space.
Yeah. Anyway, so he hears a crunch, and he says, "Who's there?" Kiro.
And Kiro stumbles into camp, dying.
His faceplate, it's been shattered. He's suffocating. He says, out loud to himself.
Classic Luke Skywalker, just saying too much out loud.
Well, once again, the what he says in his head versus what he says out loud, I feel like these decisions are arbitrary made by this comic. It is very like, why does he say that out loud? Anyway, he quickly goes over and gets him in the water.
Yeah, because they made their camp right next to some fresh water so that Kiro could like replenish his water supply if needs be.
I do like Kiro. It's water. And then he goes, "Don't give up on me, blast it. It's water."
Don't you like water? You stupid fish
Get in
guy.
there, you son of a bitch. It's your favorite water. Anyway,
So, of course, the only thing that works on a seriously injured man is dunking him in water and saying, "Who did this to you?"
Yeah, come on, give me answers. Anyway, he says, "Danny, you have to save her. All right, take it easy." I like he's
just
like,
concentrate on breathing.
Give me answers. Give me answers. Danny, take it easy.
I promise we'll save her once I've tended to the worst of your wounds.
Yeah. And so we're back to Han and Leia.
So they're trapped in a small metal box with the Zeltrons, and they've been their weapons have been taken from them.
I do love once again the pose on Han scratching his chin, being like, metal box with no escape, eh?
Wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah. Okay. I see. Yep. Seems hopeless. Okay. Yep.
The room is outer locked, totally sealed, windowless, and cold, as Leia is sneezing. She is catching a chill in that very exposed dress she is wearing.
Yes. And so Han puts his jacket on her. Aw.
Because he's a sweetie.
Yeah. I know these Zeltrons are doing nothing. But I do like this line because it does feel very Han Solo. Cheer up, sweetheart. One of them's bound to come in here to gloat sooner or later. Like we know how these villains be.
Yeah, exactly. And when that happens, we'll jump them.
Yeah. Anyway, and he goes, I should fill you guys in because Knife is one of my bad guys.
Last time I ran into Knife, he was leading one of those slaving operations that the Alliance has been so concerned about since our victory.
Yeah.
And this is where Leia brings up, like, oh, I also ran into a slaving operation, but there were none of those Knife guys.
This is one of those things that I have, when you talk about questioning, was this planned or was this like, hey, these issues both introduce these things. What if they're connected?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah. We'd have to ask Mary Jo Duffy.
Let's get her on the phone.
And now introducing. No.
If we had access this whole time and only now. Oh, wait, I have her number.
We made her sit here for 53 minutes while we were talking about absolute nonsense.
Oh, God, wait. We forgot to bring her into the chat. Oh, fuck. Oh, yeah, she's still with us. Okay.
Absolutely.
Sure. Yeah. Is she still writing?
I do not know.
No.
But anyway, last panel of the page, we cut back to Luke determinedly striding off into the wasteland.
Yes. With his lightsaber. He's going to do some damage, I guess.
So Leia and Han are trying to plan an escape. Meanwhile, the Zeltrons are doing something in the corner.
Oh, just doing bits.
They're building a human pyramid because that's fun.
God damn it. You know what? As long as they keep themselves entertained and we figure out what's going on, that's fine.
So
Okay.
Han is being like, okay, you draw their attention, then when they start being concerned about you, I'll sucker punch them.
Yeah, Han looking like Val Kilmer.
Yeah.
Actually, he looks like and this is a very specific, the 12-inch action figure of Han Solo that I had as a kid had this face. Much more so than he looked like actual Harrison Ford. And I remember that was a big fucking deal if I got one of those 12-inch guys. I was like, what? That was like only on Christmas do you get the
That's
12
like twice as much action figure.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I had him and Lando and Luke and no,
but the 12-inch guys didn't fit into any of the vehicles.
No, they had to have separate adventures because I did have the Millennium Falcon that was for the the regular. What were they like? They were slightly smaller than your 6-inch figure.
It's like 5 1/4, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah. Anyway, because I had a shit ton of those. Obviously, you got to.
But the Zeltrons are like, yeah, your plan's neat, but we're not scared. We'll take care of it. You guys are the best. Zeltrons.
Zeltrons! They should just be in the corner saying Zeltrons. Woo, Zeltrons! Yeah.
But one of their number has disappeared.
Don't worry, kids. I'm calling them kids. I don't know how old you are, but you act like kids. Hey, weren't there more of you a minute ago? Now we have disappearing Zeltrons.
Weird.
Yeah. Anyway, cut to Luke Skywalker just staring off into the distance. The cross cutting in this fascinates me. Because this is all Zeltron, Han, and Leia stuff, and then just this last panel that carries us into the next page of Luke Skywalker.
Because we cut to Luke staring into the middle distance, and what he sees is, of course, Lumia. And we have this woman shrouded in darkness, her eyes exposed, but nothing else. And she locks eyes with Luke, and we have this very dramatic page of just and then the duel commences.
This is rad. This I want more of, where it's just like his eyes, her eyes. This page guest directed by Sergio Leone.
Because we have Luke igniting his lightsaber. It's blue. Don't worry about it. And
her igniting her. I mean, she clearly has stolen this from Whiplash.
This is the first appearance of a light whip. So light whip is a thing that will be, I'm not going to say prominent, but it is a thing that is existing in Star Wars until today. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Last we saw a light whip was during the Acolyte. We had one of the Jedi Masters using one in that.
They're cool, man.
But yeah, this is the first appearance of one, and she will have one when she makes her reappearance into the expanded universe canon later as well.
Mm-hmm. And
light whip,
cool.
Very cool.
They charge at each other. It's all black except for them and the energy of their weapons.
Yeah, no, this is good stuff. I like this.
Yeah, because this speaks, but the fact that we then cut back to Zeltrons after this is wild.
Because one of the knives comes into the room and starts gloating, just like Han said. But then what's this? There's a Zeltron on the ceiling.
This is the first time noticing of the elf ears on him.
Yeah, that's why I called them dark elves earlier.
Yeah, I guess I didn't clock that, or I did and forgot. So anyway, yeah, he's coming in to just talk bullshit.
Yeah, he's like, oh no, your highness, whatever you may have to say, by way of treaty, you may say to my leader, after we've transported you to our base. So they're here to take him out of here and bring him to whoever the big bad is.
I want to talk about the way the Zeltron falls on this guy, though, because it appears he puts his fist out to punch him as he's falling.
I mean, that is absolutely what is implied to have happened here.
Which is wild.
Especially considering he was spider supporting himself up in the corner of this room here.
Yeah, and then he lets go with a yeah, which is always great to announce yourself, number one. Mm-hmm. And then apparently while falling through the air has enough time to get himself into this kind of Superman pose so he can deck this dude. Yeah.
So doors open and the Zeltrons spring out.
Let's go. Let's go, boys.
Meanwhile, Luke is still in combat with the light whip wielder.
That's still going on. Back to Zeltrons.
Zeltrons are giving him the what for?
Zeltrons! Huh? Yahoo! One of them is saying as he's uppercut karate chopping a guy, which seems tough. Another guy's just kicking somebody in the face.
Leia's about to ask what and then Han's like, no time, grab a gun, start shooting.
I don't know what's happening, but with this opportunity we have to take. Don't worry about what the Zeltrons are doing. Whoop! I like the guy going whoop, and then okay. We have to talk about the position of his foot versus the rest of his body. It's
yeah. Yeah.
Well, how did he do that?
I mean, that's some Jean-Claude Van Damme level flexibility right there.
Absolutely. I also like the Star Trek hammer punch going on over in the corner.
The bonk. Yeah.
Bonk. Yeah. Just bonking the guy.
Okay. If I had to, I think that's a spin kick he's in the middle of. That's the only way to explain that.
Yeah.
It's like
I mean,
that's not his right foot. That would be his like left foot coming back around.
Okay. Yeah. It still it requires him to have the midsection of like an action figure that just spins 360. Maybe Zeltrons do. We don't know.
If there were any species out there whose hips went all the way around, it would be Zeltrons.
Yeah, it's Zeltrons. Meanwhile, Luke's still fighting.
And Luke not looking great there. He gets a whip across the face.
Yeah. And anyway, back to Han and Leia just icing dudes.
Yeah, they're shooting guys. They're having some banter. Han being like, hey, I told you it was a good plan.
I got to talk about foot placement again. What is going on with this guy's foot? It's like it's turned down. It implies that the ankle is bending like a knee.
You're talking like at the top right panel here, where this guy's leg is going up, presumably to kick this knife in the gut, but then his foot is shown to be coming down on his thigh.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So it implies that the ankle is like going back from the side. Like if you turn your foot and then we're able to bend the ankle at a 90-degree angle.
Okay, no, I can explain this. It's a very easy explanation. The knife in question who's getting kicked just happened to have an extra shoe on his belt.
There you go. Yeah. We would, yeah, there you go. Because you never know.
You never know.
Never know when you might need another shoe. Anyway, back to... And also, the punch being thrown by the other Zeltron is insane. He's leaned fully all the way down and is punching a guy across the face of a guy laying on the ground.
His body is at a 75-degree angle to the ground as he is delivering this punch.
Insane. Meanwhile,
cut back to Luke.
Intense, light whip versus lightsaber battle is occurring, and Luke is losing.
Luke gets disarmed here. The light whip wraps around his lightsaber hilt and pulls it from his hand.
But anyway, speaking of people who have won, though, the Zeltrons have saved the day!
Zeltrons!
Look at how happy they are.
They've never not been happy.
Yeah. Move it along, Knives, and don't try anything funny or we'll blast you. Yeah, we've never blasted anyone before, but we've always wanted to try it. Murder seems fun.
How bad do you have to feel as the knife guys if you're like, the Zeltrons? Oh, this one hurts, guys. This one's tough.
Fellas, come on.
Come on. The Zeltrons beat you?
To the Zeltron. I had, like, Han and Leia were there, but, like, the Zeltron started this. It's...
Uh-huh.
Oh, fuck.
If you're at gunpoint with a bunch of Zeltron hunks leading you away to captivity, you know you done messed up.
Before they... Yeah, you don't want to hear before they lock you in the cell. Zeltrons! And then this guy here is like, hey... We can't express enough how thrilled we are about this. You know, this is an example of, like, if they were worried about the New Republic being too militant, That's the word I was looking for. Maybe you need a little bit of that so that situations like this get avoided.
Well, and Leia drives the point home here because the governor is like, I don't know what we would have done. And Leia says, why? We wouldn't have done anything. You would have waited for rescue. And one of the nobles here is like, rescue? What rescue? And Leia comes in with the one we would have sent, of course. After all, everyone knows the Alliance of Free Planets look after all its loyal members.
Yes, I mean, the thing about this is
Leia's getting some back-end diplomacy in here. I like this.
I like it too, because it turns out if you just have a party planet, you can be taken over very easily by a bunch of assholes with knives.
But if you join the Alliance, our party planet, Zeltros, have some kick-ass boys that can come in and keep you safe.
Maybe it's a good idea to have some military people around. You don't have to lead with that, but, have some defense ready to go.
Yeah.
Anyway, and so Leia's like, well, turns out the Zeltrons weren't useless after all.
Leia in this last panel looking like a Frank Miller character in the leather jacket and ripped dress and gun held lazily to the side.
Straight up. Yep, no question. And they're walking away, and so they're like, well, turns out the Zeltrons did help. And Han's like, I can't believe it either.
It turns out everything worked out. Okay. Cut to Luke dead on the ground.
I hope everything's going well for Luke. Nope.
Yeah, I mean, our last page here is Luke laid up on the ground, seemingly unconscious, with the shadow of Lumia looming over him.
Oh, no. Luke Skywalker is dead.
I think he'll be okay, but the fact that this is kind of
one of the first times in the anything could happen.
It's true. It's true.
Probably not that. That'd be pretty wild.
This is also one of the first times we've had Luke just soundly beaten in the comic books.
I will say it raises the stakes, which I'll give them credit for big time.
And we don't even get a next issue title. We just say continued ... But
I will also say the jump from the Lumia we met to this one is pretty wild.
It's, again, one of the reasons I didn't recognize this character when she first showed up in the book was just oh, same name, but not the character I know. So I'm just going to file it away and move on like so many other things in this book. Right. This is the issue that made me go, oh shit, we're starting to build out the EU as I know it right now here in 1985. Holy crap, I didn't know we started this soon.
Yes, because all of a sudden, this is that was ooh, I'm an evil robot, I'll see you again, not oh wow, a super powerful Dark Lord of the Sith.
Yeah, and we had our,
for next time.
We had our possible, heir apparent to Darth Vader show up a couple issues ago, and we got that weird sequel issue to the annual.
Yeah, I don't think anything's coming to that.
Well,
oh fuck! I'm not saying that on this show. Just gotta stop talking. Every time I say, "Well, that's probably nothing on the come of that," right? You're like, "Well, that's not true."
Okay. Nothing more will come of Flint. He's super dead. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, okay, right. Okay.
But how he cropped up as a quote-unquote Dark Lord is sort of addressed.
Okay. Well, that's fair, because that was sort of a wait, what was the deal with that guy?
Right. And maybe that has to do with our new friend here, Lumia.
I mean, that's fine. Look, I once again, I don't know what they plan, but it does feel like they are at least now attempting to consolidate these stories.
To some extent, yeah. And it's one of those things that you always talk about, and I talk about it as well. It's just Star Wars never forgets to a certain extent. And that was always the case.
Well, I do think now they are figuring out what I was talking about at the beginning of the show, which is, okay, we don't have the movies to pull from or throw to, so we do have to start building our own mythology.
Right. And some of that mythology is good, some of it is bad, but some of it is laying the groundwork for stuff that we're going to be talking about for decades in terms of the fandom and like the stories being told within them. Because again, Lumia is a character that like gets brought back in a big way in Legacy of the Force as like the master to Jason Solo, who is like learning the powers of the dark side and turning against the Skywalker clan.
Because I feel like as much as we talk about Star Wars itself never forgets, Star Wars fans definitely don't forget. And so either fans saying what happened to that character, or as you bring up, people who grew up reading this stuff, writing these books later are going, hey, I remember a character who was kind of cool. Could I do something with that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, now it doesn't happen with every character. For every Lumia who gets built up later, we also have a Jaxxon who is never spoken of again except outside of jokes.
Well, yeah, I mean, in some comics, but
occasionally. But like, when was the last time we saw him in this book? Never, and that's probably a good thing.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, no, a lot of stuff from this, and even look at this. They're already rewriting Lumia and making her cooler than last we saw her. So I mean, the other thing too is some of these also are ideas that were floated in the comic that somebody picks up, expands upon, and makes maybe more interesting.
Well, and again, I don't want to spoil things for you, John Campbell, but like this character already has her roots in this book.
Okay. Yeah.
So like Joe Duffy is pulling from things earlier in this series that will like be retooled and refashioned and like picked back up in ways that maybe the fans weren't expecting or wouldn't necessarily think of in terms of like continuity-based storytelling in this era.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, and that's exciting. We're seeing not only that, which is interesting because this comic is also, approaching its ending eventually, not immediately, but it is interesting to see that this is also what comics fans are wanting out of these books at this point.
I mean, we're on issue 95. This series ends at issue 107.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, we're in the final run of it, and it's just, I would say, unfortunately, maybe now just getting interesting.
Well, look, there's going to be a lot of Zeltrons and space crickets before the end here, so don't maybe be touting the upward swing of this.
I didn't. Okay. I said interesting. I didn't say great. I was very careful with what word I used.
Okay.
It is fascinating. I am curious to see where it goes, more so maybe than I have before.
Okay. I think that is about as optimistically good as we can get with this book, considering how much we've suffered through in the ups and downs.
Praise is our show. But yes, if you want to hear more from us and all the shows on the Punch Up Entertainment channel, there's so much more content over on our Patreon page, which is patreon.com/punchup, that's PunchUpENT. And I'll shout this out because this is a new show that we just are starting over on the Patreon that's connected to if you're a fan of the Return to the Action Shelf here on the YouTube channel, which you should be because it's very fun. Michael Listman and I watching action movies. We are now doing an exclusive show for patrons over there, which is the Action Shelf Presents Maximum Van Damage, which is where Michael Listman and I will be charting the career of one Jean-Claude Van Damme. And we will be you can watch along with us all of Van Damme's greatest hits. It's a watch-along show, so you get to watch the movie with us as we ogle that slab of man meat that is JCVD.
I will say it is the Action Shelf that made me a Van Damme fan for sure.
Yeah.
As I watched some of those movies along with y'all.
Indeed, and you came on for Replicant. You did Cyborg. We gave you the sci-fi themed ones.
I was at work the other day and somebody confused Seagal with Van Damme. And I was personally offended by that statement. And I have the Action Shelf to thank for that.
Yeah. If it was Dolph, I could be like, well, that's wrong, but but Seagal?
Yeah. How dare you?
Yeah.
Someone said that, they're going to do splits like Seagal, and I was like, whoa.
No, even in his heyday, he couldn't.
Yeah.
Even at his slimmest. Because Van Damme can still do the splits. We do keep a splits count, by the way, on the Maximum Van Damme.
Good.
We have a checklist. I believe the 3 items are, do they try to explain why he talks like that? Does he do the splits? And does he show his ass?
Oh, okay. And like the three there are the gold standard of Van Damme movies.
That's the thing. That's the checklist. Does the movie check off the three? So
Though
anyway,
some of the films are better for not explaining why he talks like that.
well, yeah, I'm not. It's not a quality thing. It's just
Sure.
a checklist. It's not. Yeah. So anyway, and of course, our first episode of that is out now, which obviously is about the movie Bloodsport.
But if you just want the normal action shelf, you can find that, of course, over on our YouTube page, youtube.com/@punchupentertainment. While you're there, you can watch this show, the one we're doing right now, with your eyeballs. You can read along with us, see the comic as we're talking about it. You can see all of the cool cross panels we were talking about with Luke getting his ass kicked in this issue.
Come watch Luke Skywalker get his ass handed to him.
Isn't that not what Star Wars fans have craved? I mean, I feel like I remember everyone saying, "Oh, I love The Last Jedi" because of how much Luke got his ass kicked.
I'm tired of him winning fights.
But while you're there, please like, comment, subscribe. Let us know in the comments below. As we're like wrapping up this year, I know there's a lot of nostalgia that's baked into this comic, right? But as we're like heading into the end game here, like what are the early stories in Star Wars that made you like think past the movies, right? I think this led me down like a nostalgia rabbit hole, this particular issue of just like, this was how I engaged with Star Wars through most of the 90s was like, okay, the movies are done. I need to think about these stories on a like larger like novel and video game level because that's all there is.
I don't even, as a kid, it never even crossed my mind that there would be more movies.
Right.
It was like I was satisfied with the Thrawn trilogy being the sequels.
Sure. Yeah, for sure. And there are lots of loud voices these days saying they should have been, even how impossible that would have been. But
absolutely. But like as a kid, I was like, well, those were 7, 8, and 9 to me.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But yeah. Thank you all so much for listening. I think that's going to do it for us this week. As always, I have been Mike Ergoni.
I'm John Campbell.
And remember, may the panel be with you.